What's up, you guys, and welcome to another special episode of the Ask Alex Show. And today we have a very special episode for you guys. This is an interview that I am super excited about. I've been watching this dude since I was like 8 years old. I mean, one of the most legendary rappers in the game, one of the most legendary actors in the game. One of my favorite movies in my top 10 is House Party 1. I have no other than Christopher Kid Reed from Kid and Play on the show. How are you doing today, Kid?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Good to be with you, Alex.
Uh,
Thank that.
th-
That was a nice introduction. I appreciate that.
Oh, anytime, man, anytime, man. And man, like I'm a huge fan. I'm glad I was able to get you on the show. Before we dive into your history, I want to ask you, with the pandemic and everything going on, how have you been able to adjust with you and your family? You know, have there been some shows you had to cancel and or had to do with social distancing? How's that been?
Well, yeah. The public appearances and touring
Mhm,
that Play and I were doing quite a bit of.
mhm,
Obviously, that had to be kind of put to the side. So
mhm.
doing some different things, a lot of virtual stuff. Still, trying to busy myself on the music tip. I do a lot of voiceover work as well. So just kind of shifting the focus because of the pandemic. So we're hopeful that somewhere down the line we can, things will get a lot better, and we can get to see our fans on a uh, more intimate basis. But yeah, it's affecting a lot of touring groups, definitely.
Yeah. I know for us, like we had to change like a whole lot of different things as well. So just adjusting to the change. But I'm glad to
Sure,
see you guys are doing good and still be able to do some work in the midst
sure.
of all this. But I wanted to ask you, man, about House Party. One of my favorite, it's literally one of my favorite films. I had a homeboy that we used to watch like House Party 1 because we didn't have no cable religiously. Like we
Hmm.
watched it religiously. But I noticed that all of you guys seem like you guys were friends, even the bullies, Full Force. And
Hmm.
Full Force is actually one of my favorite hip hop groups. And I was just wondering, were you guys really close on set? You know, the three, I know there's like six Full Force characters, Full Force guys, but the three that are in the movie, were you guys ever close outside of House Party?
Yeah, we were. That's Full Force.
Mhm,
And the three members that were in the movie were Bow-Legged Lou, B Fine, and Paul Anthony.
mhm,
They're three brothers.
mhm,
We knew them. We knew them a little bit before the film,
mhm,
because they were making their way. Doing their records. They had made quite a name for themselves, particularly in the New York area.
mhm,
But we knew them kind of casually. But after doing the movie, everybody got tight. I mean, the whole cast was super tight. We really enjoyed being around one another. We enjoyed working with each other, playing
mhm.
around, kicking it, hanging out after shooting, and to this day, I mean, we all still have a great relationship with one another. All the cast members, Full Force, and Martin, and Tisha, and AJ, and the director and the producer, and myself, and Chill, Play. So we've been very fortunate to maintain these friendships all these years. So, but to your point, yeah, we had a lot of fun. I hope it looked like we were having fun, because we did. Every day was like a circus, man.
Yeah, like it's funny. Like when I watched the show, when I watched the movie, it's so relatable. You know, a kid sneaking out to be with his friends, partying, and then when you get home, your daddy's waiting on you. And that was the most relatable scene for me. When Robin Harris is waiting on you, and I haven't seen anyone ask you this, but I wanted to ask you that whooping scene during the credits.
Mhm.
What was he actually? Was he? I know he wasn't whooping you for real, but what was he
Mhm.
whooping in the midst of that? Because we didn't get to see it as a viewer, but we just
Yeah.
heard.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that you couldn't actually see the beating, but you could hear it, I
Yeah.
think it almost made it worse. Like it made it like you could just imagine, what he was doing. But
Exactly.
actually, we taped that or recorded that after the movie was over. I think I was back in New York by then, and Robin was out here in Los Angeles,
Mhm.
and we each went to a studio, and we did our parts separately.
Mm-hmm.
and they just kind of put them together. So, what you heard was us not actually being in the same place. But yeah, I
Oh
don't know.
wow.
They probably gave Robin a belt or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing Robin, he would have been, he enjoyed that. He enjoyed talking all that mess and pretending like he was beating me and stuff. So yeah, he was the right man for the job.
Yeah, because I had an ongoing joke. I was like, yo, when kid looks at his dad, I'm like, oh God, like he looks really scared about what's
Hmm.
about to happen. But another question I want to ask you in particular about the cast. I've heard you say before that Martin Lawrence is a good friend of you guys. Like you
Hmm.
guys knew Martin way back in the day. Like he used to work at a gas station, and then over time you guys got to know him. But my favorite scene in House Party or House Party and House Party 2 is that Martin is very much who he is as Bilal as he is as a real person. And there are scenes where like he's like yelling at y'all, but y'all not taking him seriously. Like, and I'm just wondering, like, how was it when you were on set? Like, was all that like ad-libbed or was that like the actual lines? Like, because like I said, like y'all were having fun. It didn't seem like scripted to me when I watched it.
Well, a lot of it was scripted, but to his credit, the director of House Party, Reggie Hudlin,
Mm-hmm.
he always encouraged us to ad lib.
Mm-hmm.
Like he would tell us continuously, this is what we're trying to accomplish in this scene.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if there's a way you can say it better or
Mm-hmm.
more relatable to your audience, or if you need to add a little piece to make sure we get to where we need to get to, he was all for that, and he gave us a lot of leeway and gave us a lot of freedom. So, I mean, in terms of Martin was great. I mean, to be honest, Martin was probably better off the dome than actually reading the script. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? His
Yeah.
personality and just his style of comedy, he was really, really quick
Mm-hmm.
witted.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we would make suggestions. You know what I mean? If we saw Martin in a scene, that's how tight everybody was. Like we all rooted for each other. It
Mm-hmm.
didn't matter if we were in the scene or not. If we thought there was a way that we could add to what Martin was saying, in between takes, we would go over to him and say, "Yo, man, try this or put this at the end of it to give it a
Mm-hmm.
little more oomph or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
get that extra laugh."
Mm-hmm.
So in that regard, everybody was always pulling for one another and making suggestions and stuff like that. But yeah, Martin was he was great off the dome, definitely.
Yeah, to dive in a little bit more, fast forward from House Party, you were actually on an episode of season 1 of Martin. And it's funny when I watched that episode where you're doing Martin's show on the radio show. It's kind of like a mini House Party reunion because you have Martin, Tish Campbell, and then you. And
Hmm.
there's that scene, Forever Shanae. I think that's the name of the episode.
Yeah.
Uh, I can tell before they show the outtakes, I can tell both of y'all were trying so hard not to laugh. So I just wanted to know how many takes that y'all had to do
Oh,
during
God.
that dancing scene.
Um, Probably, I mean, dozens. You know what I mean? And don't forget, when we actually did the final taping, there's a studio audience there too. So
Yeah.
everybody's laughing and just cutting up,
Mm-hmm.
seeing us like hugging up on each other and trying to dance and whatnot. But yeah, throughout that whole episode, we were cracking up. We had to, cut, had to do it again and stuff like that. But I think we both look back on it as one of the most memorable episodes of Martin. And I'm glad we did it. It was an idea that we both came up with together. When he first got the show and had the pilot, he brought it over to my hotel and
Yeah.
showed it to me, and it was like, "Yo, you need to be on the show with me." So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "All right, but what would I do? What would we do?" And we just kind of started working it out there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what became Forever Shanae. So yeah, we had to retake it a gang of times, bro.
I can see it because even when I see the outtakes of that
Oh
particular
God.
episode, you guys are just cracking up. I see the audience cracking up. I see part of the other cast watching and
Hmm.
cracking up, and it's just like, wow! I bet you that set that day was just crazy. But I noticed during your hip hop career and acting career, you started also doing other TV shows. Like you were on Smart Guy with
Hmm.
Taj Mori, and then you were also on Sister Sister twice as Chili T, and then Tia's manager. And
Hmm.
I just wanted to know after you kind of did your acting thing, how did you land those roles because you were very memorable in my childhood when you were just sprinkled in certain
Hmm.
things.
Yeah, well, you know what? I was fortunate. My manager throughout the 90s was a lady by the name of Suzanne DePass.
Mm-hmm.
And Suzanne DePass is known for, helping build up Motown Records with Berry Gordy. And she's produced so many different movies. Lady Sings the Blues.
Mm-hmm.
She's done so many different television shows. And she was actually the executive producer of both Smart Guy and Sister Sister. So
Okay.
she's the one that brought me in on both those shows. So
Mm-hmm.
on Sister Sister, I first came on, I think, doing Chili Tea. Then I
Yeah.
came back on as her manager and did it like about, I don't know, about 6, 7 episodes like that.
Yeah.
Then came back and did Smart Guy. So I mean, I'd love to think that it was my outstanding acting ability that got me the job, but I think it had a lot to do with Suzanne DePass because she was actually my manager at the time. So she put me in a good position, and I was happy to work with them because the
Mhm.
I knew the girls, and I knew Lil Taj, and I know their mother and father. So it was always a pleasure to work with them.
Oh man, like yeah, seeing you on there, you guys just like gelled well together. It was like again watching like a family just acting, doing what they love together. Another question I wanted to ask you is that we're seeing a lot of like remakes and biopics and biopics. I know you talked about on Vlad about the Salt and Pepper, I guess biopic or biopic. I
Mhm.
was wondering, is there a chance in the near future we can see a Kid and Play biopic? People keep saying I want a House Party remake or more sequels. There's like 6 sequels, but I want to see a Kid and Play biopic, like how y'all came together and then where you are now. Is that possibly in the mix?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? There have been discussions about that.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that uh, during the course of it last year, I think the pandemic, um, kind of threw a wrench in a lot of people's production schedules. So a lot of things, discussions and moving towards certain projects, kind of, the brakes had to be put on them. So, but I mean, I'm encouraged. I mean, I thought the Salt and Pepper movie was really really good.
Yeah.
Um, so I think in light of that, those talks kind of get re-energized. So
Mm,
to answer your question, I think it's entirely possible, and I think when you see movies like with the success of the Salt and Pepper movie, I think it makes it even more of a possibility because we're so closely associated with them
mm.
that people kind of feel like, oh, that's the next natural step. Like, what about Kid and Play? So yeah, we'd love to continue talking about it, and then hopefully move towards something this year. At least get it
Awesome.
popping.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely would love to see. I would love to see the two forces come together. Because I mean, if like when I saw a House Party, that was my first introduction to Kid and Play.
Hmm.
I just thought that you guys were brothers. And then as I got older and started doing my research, obviously you guys are two guys, come from somewhat similar backgrounds, and then y'all started doing music. And I wanted to ask, like, how different, like, I guess the better question is like Kid and Play is portrayed in a certain way in House Party. Like obviously you're the studious, and in Play it's like the ladies man.
Right.
How accurate is that in real life?
Well, I would say this. At the time we did the movie, and, and
Mhm,
and particularly as we were growing up. I mean, Play
mhm,
and I grew up together. So
mhm,
when we were young, preteens and young teenagers,
mhm,
that was kind of the vibe. I went to this specialized high school for math and science.
mhm,
So I was kind of a nerd,
mhm,
and Play was definitely more of a man about town. He knew how to run the streets a little bit.
mhm,
Always down to kick it to the ladies. So
mhm,
particularly at those particular times, yeah, we were kind of like that,
mhm,
especially growing up.
mhm.
I think those things have vastly changed now. Like no one's got the energy to be chasing young chasing women around like that. But
Yeah.
at that time when we were young, yeah, that had a lot of our aspects of our personality in not just in a lot of the movies that we did, or a lot of the television projects we did.
Yeah, yeah, because like it's like the persona somewhat still the same somewhat, but I mean now like you guys have definitely evolved as people. So it's cool to see now what you guys are like now, and you guys are still close, still making music, still
Hmm.
touring. So I think that is amazing. I wanted to also ask, like, Class Act. Class Act was another movie that I saw later on in life. Um, have you guys ever, like, did you guys ever think that the movies that you guys did, like Class Act and House Party, would make such an impact on like the newer generation like me, or future generations like future kids and stuff? Did you guys think at that time like this would be such a mega hit like it is now?
Um, I think at the time we released the movies, when the movies were released, I mean, we were always hopeful that they would be successful and people would like them in
Mhm,
real time,
mhm.
which they did. But I doubt seriously that we thought, 30 years later. I mean, we just passed the 30th anniversary of the original House Party,
Yeah.
and they play it now more than ever. And subsequent generations, people like yourself,
Mhm,
have come on and embraced it. House Party movies like that and Class Act, um, they it turned out they were kind of getting passed down, from
mhm,
older brothers to younger brothers.
mhm,
Now parents, watch it with their kids. It's turned into that kind of movie,
mhm,
in terms of the culture.
mhm.
So nah, I don't think any of us thought that it would still be uh, you know, as popular today, or even maybe even more. I mean, I think more people around the world have seen it than ever before. I mean, they always every 5 minutes they seem to be showing it on BET. So thanks a lot, appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. You had the opportunity to work with Bernie Mac
Mhm.
in House Party 3. And he was I used to watch the Bernie Mac show growing up, so he was just a major pivotal part in my life as well, watching him. And definitely the man you see on camera is definitely the man that you see in real life. I wanted to ask, what was it like working with him, and what is like the best like the best memory you had of him, either in House Party or outside of that as well?
Well, I mean, Bernie was just a great guy. Number one, he's just a really nice person. Just really, uh, just when he was around, he just brought a really positive energy with him.
Mhm,
Another guy that was really really quick off the dome.
mhm,
It was great. I got the opportunity. I was fortunate enough to do,
mhm.
several scenes with him,
Yeah.
and it was just enjoyable. A lot of times, because there's so much downtime when you're making a film, you're sitting around waiting for them to get the lights together and set the scene and everything. So you end up spending a lot of time with the people that you're in the scenes with. So we got to do that, and this was Bernie Mac's first movie, by the way. So
Yeah.
it's just us kind of talking, going back and forth.
Mhm,
His star was on the rise. A lot of people were talking about him. I think he had just come off like a really big Def Jam comedy performance,
mhm,
and so his star was definitely on the rise. So
mhm.
we talked about stuff like that, and just about me letting him know, like, hey man, I know this House Party thing, like you're getting ready to be you're getting ready to be big, man, because he was just so funny in the movie, and
Mhm.
that was in House Party's heyday, which and that's what happened. Bam, he
Yeah.
pops off House Party 3, bam, right into Friday, bam, right in. A lot of great things started happening. Bam, Kings of Comedy, man, a lot of great things, all down the line started happening for him, and people started recognizing how talented he was. So once again, just a pleasure, and it's just a shame that that he's not still around to get some of this love that fans have for him.
Yeah, yeah, man, what amazing person on the earth, man. There's no one I can think that's like him. Like, he's just what an amazing dude. I had a conversation with Pierre last week, and he was
Hmm.
basically saying the same thing. Like, he when he worked with Pierre, amazing dude, bright dude. A reason why I love House Party so much, because in a lot of ways it was like the catapult for a lot of people's careers. I mean, we see Tisha Campbell doing things like My Wife and Kids, The Martin Show, and then her career. And then Martin had The Martin Show, and then
Hmm.
you had Bernie Mac do his thing. You had Immature, and now
Hmm.
Marcus Houston's like a big thing. And then you had TLC, and then
Hmm.
they were big, and it just set up so many things that you guys were the originators of. And I think when I look at those movies, it's like, wow, like it really just showed me how much of an impact you guys were, especially in music. Because one of my favorite songs that you and Play do is called "Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody," and it's just
Hmm.
a song having fun. It's like
Mhm.
the best, I think the best song I've heard in House Party 2, where y'all really just dancing and kicking it. And I guess my question is that you guys are essentially playing yourselves in those movies in a sense. But how was it to learn like the dance moves along with Tisha Campbell and the other people? Like, was how many times did y'all have to rehearse that? Because I know outside of movies, y'all were dancing in music videos too.
Mhm.
So you know
Yeah.
how did y'all get that together?
Well, I mean, just during the course of the film, I mean, I think initially,
Mhm,
be it the dance scene in House Party 1 or the
mhm,
dance scene in House Party 2,
mhm,
off the top, the director usually he'll tell you, "Hey, man, in this party scene, you know, we're gonna need, you know, like a dance number or a dance battle or what have you."
mhm,
Uh, and I think usually we'll come up with something in the run up to it, like a few days before,
mhm,
and then when there's some downtime, we would kind of perform it for the director so he can kind of see it and then
mhm,
realize and figure out how he wants to shoot it.
mhm,
That's what we did in both House Party 1 and 2.
mhm,
And I think there was a musical scene in Class Act as well. But yeah, you do rehearse those so that the director knows what the best angles are and
mhm,
whatnot.
mhm,
But back then, I mean, we were all really really young, and to your point, Play and I were really really big into the dancing scene anyway, through our music and music videos. So we look forward to it, and Tisha and AJ,
mhm,
they were great dancers in their own right. I mean, they're great performers, period. And once again, that dance battle scene in the original House Party is
mhm.
has become pretty memorable. So
Yeah. Yeah, I hope. And then once COVID, like my plan for 2020 was to recreate that scene for my YouTube channel, like
mhm,
gather people, come to my house and we recreate that. But then the pandemic hit and I'm just like,
mhm.
so
Yeah, I've seen people do that. I've seen that online where people literally recreate the battle, 2-on-2. There's a crowd around them and everything, and it's kind of it's amazing. You just look at it and you say like, wow, man, you guys put all that together like that. I mean, you really do like that dance.
yeah. And I was going to rope in the part where Martin's yelling, switch. Like,
Oh
by the
yeah,
way,
classic,
by the way,
classic.
is Martin a DJ for real? Or is that just good acting?
No, no, he's terrible. He's terrible at it. He's much better acting as a DJ than being a DJ. But yeah, I think he played it off. But no, he had no skills, man. He had no skills back then.
Yeah, because it seemed like he knew what he was doing. And
Oh
then
no,
every
no. No, because I think, well, like I said, in between takes, we were probably telling him like, like what, man, yo, do it like this, or you know what I'm saying? You got to fake it till you make it. You know what I'm saying? But I think he pulled it off.
Oh yeah, he definitely did. Because every time Chill kept bumping into the table,
Oh,
it looked like
stop
he
it.
really wanted to kill him.
Stop it. Yeah, both of them. They look. That's an iconic stare down, man. Like something was getting ready to happen, man.
Yeah, man. And before we go, I wanted to talk a little bit more about your music.
Hmm.
When you and Play got together, and a lot of your music is very positive. Even now, it's very, very positive. I never felt like your music was anything degrading or anything like just something that would be unconventional. When you and Play decided to do this group, what you guys are doing now, how do you guys like play off each other in creating music? Because I know it can be I won't say challenging, but it can be like a different type of environment when two people come together having different ideas of how to produce a song.
And you know what, we he and I haven't made a song in a while, but I mean, when we
Yeah.
were making lots of records, it actually worked very well. I mean, along with our producer, Herbie Lovebug,
Yeah.
who was producing the records, another childhood friend.
Yeah.
What we did was we kind of had a formula. Herbie kind of oversaw everything, ran everything, and it was my job to kind of, help create the song. I wrote most of the lyrics because I knew how to write for Play, and Play trusted me to write for him.
Mhm.
Play's specialty was, our look. What are we wearing? What's
Mhm.
the album cover? What anything artistic? That was his field of expertise. So everybody kind of had their own superpower
Mhm.
and led with that. Now, in the end, it was always a group decision. We want to do this or we want to do that. But I think we were always cool and trusted one another to lead in the areas that we were good in. So that's what it was. So I mean, making records back then was you know, it was a lot of fun. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't a lot of arguments or battles at all. If somebody felt really strongly about something,
Mhm.
then we would go along with it. Now, if it messed up, then you're gonna hear it after the fact, like, yo, you know, that idea you had, that sucked. Okay, so you know, we'll let you know about it, but we're gonna give you the opportunity to you know, to do whatever you feel, something you're really passionate about.
Oh no, that's dope. Now, my last question is that will we ever get a day once this pandemic is over finally, but a day where we get the original cast, I believe everyone is still alive, but original cast of House Party do like a review, like how they did the Fresh Prince Bel Air
Mm-hmm.
reunion. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think we'll ever get a reunion from you guys?
You know, I would love to. To be honest, most recently,
Mhm.
we just did a big thing along with the Apollo online. They
Yeah.
have, I think it's going to be it's going to air the 27th of this month of February,
Okay.
and we had uh, Kid play, the director Reggie Hudlin, the producer Warrington Hudlin. We
Mhm.
had Full Force. We had Chill.
Mhm.
We had AJ Johnson, and we were
Mhm.
all on the same, you know, kind of virtual panel
Mhm.
discussing the movie and talking about old times and
Mhm.
memories and stuff. So I would tell you and the public to kind of look out for that, the 27th. It's like House Party 30th anniversary reunion,
Mhm.
and it's done along with the Apollo Theater and their online platform.
Awesome, awesome. I can't wait to see it because
Yeah, yeah, we had a lot of we did it like a few days ago, and we had a
okay.
lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. We were like just, you know, just bringing up old memories and joking around
Mhm.
and you know, just reminding each other about how what a great experience that it was. And it was just nice to see everybody, you know, pretty much everybody together again,
Now,
kicking it.
I just thought of something. Is there something in House Party that y'all shot? Do y'all remember that never made it to the movie that you thought would have been a good
Ooh.
addition?
Ooh, that's, I mean, it's tough to say now to kind of remember, but I mean, typically, you know, you always kind of overshoot, and there's always, you know, sometimes it's some regrets. You know, a scene or maybe a different take that you would have preferred.
Hmm.
But once again, you know, we always had the good fortune of really trusting our directors and producers.
Yeah,
And you know what? It's hard to get in every particular shot. First of all, just in terms of time constraints, but
yeah,
then also too, you know, at the end of the day, it's the director's choice to
yeah,
make these decisions. And you know, like I said, we always trusted in our directors that they would always cast us in the best possible light. You know, they want
yeah.
us to look good. If they look good, then you know, excuse me, if we look good, they look good.
Good.
The film looks good.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? We out type
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah. Like every person in all of the movies, from the first one to the last one, y'all were all shining. It's definitely a lane of nostalgia. It's something that I watch on a day to day, and or not a day to day, but at least once or twice a
Sure.
month because again, it's like one of my favorite franchises. But Kid, I am so glad I was able to have you on the show, man. Where can people find you on social media?
Actually on Twitter and Instagram, it's a kid from Kid and Play.
Mm-hmm.
Kid from Kid and Play. I actually we just released a new piece of music last week. I released it with a young artist by the name of Biscuit, Bizkit, young artist out of Philly.
Mm-hmm.
He and I did a song called Horizon,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's on all platforms: iTunes, Apple Music,
Mm-hmm.
SoundCloud, Spotify, Tidal.
Mm-hmm.
So I urge everybody to check that out. It's something that we did maybe like probably finished it a couple of months ago. We got a video dropping in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, check that out. That's just some new music that
Mm-hmm.
you know, I felt compelled to kind of put together. And I always like working with young artists, and Biscuit is an up and coming star.
Awesome, awesome. I'll definitely check that out as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. I think you'll like it, Alex.
Oh yeah, I follow you guys heavy on Instagram and Twitter. So everything that y'all post, I'm like, what are they doing? Like, I definitely want to see it. So definitely will check that out. Also, by the way, before we close out, are there any upcoming virtual shows or shows that you have planned throughout this year, or is everything got kind of subsided?
No, well, I think, like I said, the next thing coming up, it will be that the house party reunion that'll
Yeah.
be coming up.
Mhm.
And you know what? People are pitching us virtual stuff all the time. So I anticipate we will have a schedule of things in the not too distant future, because people are coming to the realization that this might not lift for a while. So we're just going to have to try to make do, or just kind of alter our plans. So yeah, I'm quite sure there'll be other stuff, but first up will be this house party reunion on the 27th.
Definitely will check that out. As a huge house party fan, I cannot wait to see that. Kid, thank you once again for being on the show. And guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel where you get all the updates.
Support this man, Alex. He gets all the big guests, man. Come on.
Yes.
And guess what? He will hunt you down until he gets you. Okay, he is very persistent. He will not be denied.
Yes.
So all my fellow celebrities, don't think you're gonna get away. Just give in now. Okay, resistance is futile. Okay.
By the way, since we have Kid on the line, please let Play know to check his DMs. I've been hitting him up as well.
Oh God, you know what? I just spoke to him. on the phone earlier today. So yeah, I'll let him know. I'll let him know you got the APB out on him.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to have big name artists on my show. We recently just had Pierre. So
yeah, Pierre's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy.
Oh, and I never knew that. Like, I wish I had known that. I could have got both of y'all at the same time.
Oh no. Pierre's too much, man. He's wild, man.
Yeah,
real funny guy.
Yeah, he had me cracking up through the whole interview. But yeah, I Kid, thank you once again. And yes,
oh, my pleasure, bro.
Oh, anytime. And if I've messaged you guys and you're watching, please respond back.
I'm telling you, don't get it over with. He gonna get you sooner or later. Okay. No, I appreciate the time, bro. I appreciate it.
Oh, anytime. And as always, you guys, you have a blessed day.